Hello everybody, sorry for the technical difficulty. I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb, and you don't want my phone to go off while I'm talking to you and stamping. So, hello, welcome to my Zen Den. My name is Mandy Van Havermont, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! From Grey Eagle, Minnesota. Tonight, I have to be honest with you, I was not stamping much this week. It's been kind of crazy getting ready for school to start and stuff like that. Had tomatoes come in, so I was canning tomatoes. It's just been kind of nuts. So I'm going to show you one of my go-to techniques. It's kind of a, I don't know what it is. It's using scraps is what it is. And I'm going to be pairing it with a simple stamp set called Layering Leaves. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to get stamping. LeVar, you're live. Yay! Hi, Beth. Oh, you caught it all live. So yes, it's been nuts. My kids tell me they are not ready for school to start. I am so ready for school to start. I don't know. Fall is my favorite. So I'm so ready. Okay. So here's my inspiration. This is kind of the cards that we're making. I've got a couple of them here, and I'm going to show you how to make this really cool background with scraps. So let's get to it here. This is my inspiration. I pulled out a random piece of designer series paper, or random pack, and I always keep the scraps from in there. So this is fresh as a daisy. I'm going to be using both sides of the paper, and then I grabbed some coordinating cardstock. I keep these little 1/2-inch strips when I don't keep them all, but I keep some out of every pack that I get them, that I cut them out of, because when I'm cutting my regular 4 by 5 1/4 card panels, it leaves me 1/2-inch strips. So this is a way to use those up. So let's pull in our Stampin' Trimmer, and we're going to cut these to 1/2-inch strips. And I'm probably going to cut them in half also, because 12 inches is quite long. So let's cut. So I'm just cutting them to 1/2-inch strips because that's what I need. I won't need all of them. Let's see what we got here. I'll cut these two probably. All right, so let's cut them in half. It is easier if you've got straight edges to start with, so let's just, I probably should have done that before I cut them all. But, you know me, sometimes I can cut more than one at a time too. Sometimes I think a little late on my feet. So I'm just cutting them down to 6 inches. They don't have to be perfect. I'm going to leave these too long because I don't know if I'm going to use them. Put that back. All right, so let's grab this is just a basic card panel. I have them cut back at my desk here, 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. So what we're going to do is there's a couple ways to do this. I always advise using a silicone mat or something that glue won't stick to, because this kind of gets to be a little messy, but not bad. And then I'm going to start, I've got some pieces of just Moody Mauve also. Let's start with a solid piece of Moody Mauve. That'll be fun. And place it anywhere that you want on your paper, okay? I advise you to use the glue. And there's 2 ways to do it. You can glue directly onto your strip of paper, or you can do it the messy way, or the not messy way, the lazy way. I don't know. I like to do it this way because it's a lot easier, and you can just throw your paper down and away you go. So there's really no science to this. We're going to stick this one down so it hangs off both sides of the paper. And then I am just going to alternate papers. So, like I said, 6 inches is quite long. We're going to trim some of those. Don't worry, we're going to use them all. This is seriously one of the best ways to use up scraps. So you're just butting them up even with your paper here. And if you feel like you need a little bit of glue, go grab some off of somewhere else on your paper, and that'll hold that edge down in there. And you're just going to lay them down, and they're going off the paper. That's all right. So let's see here. I'm going to lay one this direction to go with that, just because that looks fun. I never make the same card twice when I'm doing this technique. It's so much fun because it is really and truly so random and so whatever you want it to be. So just keep playing with it. The only thing I'll advise you is to make sure your long pieces, make sure you have some pieces long enough to get all the way to off the paper, if that makes sense. Because I'm going to go back now and trim some of these off and use them, the other ends of them. So, and this is really one of my go-to cards for when I am kind of stuck or not sure what to make, or oh my gosh, I need this kind of card quick and I don't have any made. This is a design that I can whip out really, really quick because I always have scraps. One more little snippety snip. Okay, so let's keep going here. And if you need to add more glue, go for it, but your glue, this is the reason I use the green glue, is because it is super like forgiving and you can wiggle things a little bit. So just keep buttoning them up to the edge. If you get to the very edge and you feel like you need a little bit more glue, which you probably will on the very corners, go ahead and add some. Just like that. I'm going to switch it up. We're going to go this way. Ha, ha, ha. Like that. This is where I need to be a joke teller. See, wouldn't it be much more fun? If I was my mother-in-law, I would tell you a joke. Because she's the queen of jokes. I can't tell you her age because she would get upset with me, but she is the queen of jokes. It's fantastic. And she can remember them all the time. She's awesome. I'm going to grow up to be just like her. So we're going to keep trimming these off. Actually, I'm not going to grow up to be just like her because I can't remember them when I'm only in my 40s. So there's the potential of getting glue on your scissors, guys. Just saying. Okay, almost done. I'm going to keep taking. Let's take a solid one here. Let's put a solid one down here. And another gold one. I'm going to cheat and try to get as straight as possible. Let's see if it works. It's close to working. It worked. It worked. It totally worked. Now let's flip it again. Pull out our little trimmer. And just lop off a couple ends because I want those ends to be straight, remember, when we're doing this. So I'm just lining it up, cutting it down. That's a really little piece that I'm not going to get straight. Who am I trying to kid? Whew. All right, so there we go. Isn't that pretty? It's so cool. I love it. Okay, let's trim off the rest of our excess. And so my piece of cardstock here that I've got, my base, is my standard 4 1/4 by 5, okay? That's this card here in particular. So I've got 2 options for a mat. I've got a piece of Moody Mauve, and I've got a piece of Wild Wheat. And then I've got a card base. That's my standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. So this is just a thick card base. So the reason I grabbed both is because I wanted to see, what do I think is going to look better? You know what? I'm not a fan of either one. How about we try some early espresso? I want something that's going to make it pop. I'm going to cut this at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So it's just that little 1/8 of an inch bigger. Because this is okay. Don't get me wrong. This is pretty. But I want it to pop just a little bit. So I want that dark behind it. I think that'll just offset it just enough to, yes, I like that better. Okay, so we'll set those aside for another project at another time. The stamp set that I'm using is called Layering Leaves. This is, I just got it, and I love the stamp set because I love the font. I think it's such a pretty font. It's got some great sentiments in it. So happy to celebrate you. Best wishes. Sending hugs. Thinking of you, for you, and thank you so much, and hello. And then these leaves coordinate with the bow punch. Very cool. It's a really, really cool stamp set. So I'm going to make a wedding card tonight. So let's grab, I'm going to use the Best Wishes, and I've got a piece of basic white scrap. I will have in a second. Okay, I've got a piece of basic white scrap. So let's go with Moody Mauve. And Best Wishes. Is that not the prettiest font ever? It's so cool. And then on the inside, you know what? Since we're using up our scraps, let's grab one of these guys, and we'll put that along the edge. And then I'm going to put the So Happy for You, to celebrate you, on the inside, like that. Oh, that's pretty. So let's, I'm still a tape runner girl. I use glue when I have to, but tape runners are my thing. So let's put that down along the edge. Perfect. That's going to add the perfect touch. I love it. This is why you don't leave your ink pads open. Because stuff flies on them. Oh, yeah. Okay, I've got my punch. This one right here. It's the decorative circle punch. It's a nice size for this. So I'm just going to punch that out. And then I'm going to decide, I've got a little bit of glue there, so I might try to cover that up. And I think I need a little bit of texture, so let's see. Isn't that just the prettiest thing? Oh, I love that card. Love that. Okay, I think I'm going to take, yeah, I don't want to do that. We're going to do this. Okay. See, I'm totally going off the cuff here. I am creating this with you. So we're going to put this directly onto our mat. And if you wanted to trim it down just a smidgen more, you totally could. I love the way that that dark offsets the colors. So cool. And now I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive there. Do you ever have days where you just feel discombobulated? I'm kind of feeling it. I hope you're sticking with me. Okay, so now I'm just going to line that up where I want it, that ribbon, and fold it over. And so this ribbon is a Moody Mauve ribbon. It is the In Color textured ribbon. Very pretty. Adds a great texture to your cards when you use it like this. It ties okay too, so it's a fun one. All right, then let's mount that right onto our card base. Okay, and then this we are going to put right on there. And you know what? I think I'm going to grab some, yeah, I'm going to add some bows, because why not? The bow punch, I do believe, is actually on back order right now, so you can't order it just yet, but it will be coming back. Gosh, is it October that it's coming back? So hang tight. If that's something that's on your wish list, hang tight, because it is coming back. It's a really good punch. I like this one because it's so simple. Okay, let's grab my piece of wild wheat. Let's grab one of these pretty, let's grab this one. And I'm just looking to see how my bow, how to stamp it. So I'm going to stamp it up and down right there, if you caught what I was doing there. Wild wheat. And I'm stamping it tone on tone. I love that look. And I'm going to do 2 of them. One. We're just going to punch it right away because that one's going to get in the way. I know that. So just line it up in there and punch it. And we're going to do a second one. And I'm not going to be able to punch that. Well, here's a trick for you. Cut it out. Grab a Post-it note. There's always a way to make it work. And you're going to stick that right on there. And you can line it up then. There we go. So we'll just peel that off of the back. All right. Don't stick it on there again. Oh, that's pretty. That is a very cool fall wedding card. I like it. Let's tack those down. Grab a little bit of glue, and they tucked right in nicely, so I'm just going to do that again. A little bit of glue there, and maybe a little bit at the top. Just be careful not to stick your finger in it. And then put it right back down. There we go. One right there. And we'll do the same thing on this one. Just a little bit on a couple of the leaves. If those leaves are sticking up a bit, it adds a little bit of texture too, right? So a little bit of interest to your card. So it doesn't they don't have to be tacked down all the way. Not all of them. Perfect. All right, let's add just a little bit of bling, because bling makes everything better. I'm gonna grab, these are the In Color dots. And my poker is somewhere. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. Shocking, right? And I'm going to use the Moody Mauve, and I'm going to put that Moody Mauve dot probably on the wild wheat to make it stand out just a smidge. Like that. There we go. All right, so there is my scrappy strip technique card. Let me give you a closer look at these two also. This one I used all cardstock on this one. I literally had scraps of pecan pie and Misty Moonlight. This is one of the new autumn sets that are coming out here on the 6th is when you can order. So next week you can order. It's going to be a great week. We are going to have so much fun next week. Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. I love that. That suite. The paper from that suite is phenomenal. And then this is the other card that I made. This is using the Countryside paper, so lots of blues in there. And then here's To Beautiful Beginnings and Happily Ever Afters. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of that stamp set. And this is, look at that ribbon. That's also new ribbon. Isn't that just pretty? Oh, I love it. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera back around, tell you about some things coming up. All right, so next week on Wednesday, the new mini catalog goes live. So that is very exciting. I think you should have been gotten your catalogs. If you put an order in through me within the past year, you should have gotten a mini catalog in the mail within the last couple weeks. If you haven't got one and you're interested in getting one, let me know. Send me a message through Facebook or through YouTube, and I will be happy to get you a, or email me. I'll be happy to get you a catalog. My paper share is live for signing up. Look through the catalog. You're going to get a quarter pack of each of the new papers from the mini catalog. It's like $45. It's so inexpensive, and you get a lot of paper, and it's so you can have a sample of everything, and so you're going to be able to play with all the different papers and things like that. It's a really good deal. I encourage you to take advantage of that. Let me know by the 15th of September if you'd like to sign up for that. Otherwise, I am going to see you back here next Friday night when I go live again. So have a great week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.